So this is going to be the last video on today's show up until the Vancouver and Montreal game. Of course, if there's any extra big tidbits or stories that happen in between then okay, I guess we can make some commentaries about it. But for now, this is what we are ending off the show with and going into intermission with, because I wanted to talk about Buffalo. It's a great time to talk about Buffalo because they do not have themselves a game today. Yesterday, they beat the Oilers. Fantastic. Edmonton still slumping and bumping and falling their way down from the pinnacle that they were at earlier in the season. Let's talk about, though, one of the franchise players on the Buffalo Sabres and how much the pot got stirred up earlier this morning as to whether or not the guy could potentially want out. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check out that first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel in the process. Of course, you know from the title, you know from the thumbnail, today we are talking about Rasmus Dahlin, baby. Buffalo's franchise defenseman drafted first overall in the NHL Entry Draft. No, it's not Owen Power, unfortunately. But our guy, Rasmus Dahlin, is having a season for the ages. He is on pace for 69 points in 74 games played, which would have been a career high if he just played the full season, but unfortunately he did miss 8 games already. This is still one of the more productive years he has had, despite the fact that the Buffalo Sabres are still, I think they're the worst team in the Eastern Conference, and things definitely have not been looking up for this team and their path. Dahlin, though, in his first season as the captain of the Buffalo Sabres has been nothing short of spectacular. He is a number 1 defenseman through and through, all at 24 years old. He is signed on till the end of 2032, making $11 million a year for a reason. He's that gosh darn good, and I don't think anybody's going to go out there and disagree. The reason we are talking about Dahlin today is because of a report that was talked about on the Spittin' Chicklets podcast from earlier this morning. Spittin' Chicklets episode 549 from March 11th, 2025. We had ourselves a very particular quote from one of the hosts on the show, Paul Bissonnette, who went out there and spoke about Rasmus Dahlin and whether or not he may be feeling kind of bad about the way things have gone in Buffalo. Now, the first link in the description is that ExpressVPN affiliate page, but there will be other links down there too. I'm going to leave a link to a tweet made by Dwayne Steinel, which has the actual quote from Bissonnette on the podcast video. This is a really angry tweet, by the way, and rightfully so if they're a Buffalo Sabres fan responding to the news. I'll also leave a link in the description to an article published on WKBW.com. This was published by Matt Bove, and it goes over the same comments made by Bissonnette and the transcript too, so it's easier for us to follow along. I'll also leave a link in the description to Rasmus Dahlin's own presser earlier this morning, where he went out there and spoke about Bissonnette's comments. So this is what Bissonnette said on the podcast. I don't dig for this information. Like, it's given to me by the people who really matter and who move the needles as insiders. But apparently, Rasmus Dahlin met with Kevyn Adams and said, if this doesn't turn around fast, I'm gonzo. He says gonzo in the clip. The written article says I'm gone, because obviously gonzo is very colloquial English, but this comment got a lot of people upset, and it's why you saw that initial tweet by Dwayne. If this is true and we lose Rasmus Dahlin because of this dysfunctional owner, then I'm done. That phone call from 5 years ago won't compare to the noise I'll make. Sell this team to someone who cares. Buffalo fans do not deserve this crap. We've been too loyal and have waited 14 years. And that is indeed something that is true. 14 years, eh? That was the last time they made the playoffs. Unfortunately, they lost in the first round to the Philadelphia Flyers in 7 games. The Flyers then got swept by the Bruins, who then beat the Lightning and then beat the Canucks in that 2011 playoff run. It's almost like I have the entire 2011 Stanley Cup Playoffs memorized on the back of my head, every series, every game, every goal, because that was when I started watching hockey. Yeah, it's kind of emotional for me, but it's also emotional for Sabres fans because that was the last time their team made the playoffs. Now, Whether or not Rasmus Dahlin would genuinely want out, that was a question for a lot of Sabres fans for the few hours that the podcast was up, because it's like, hey, Rasmus Dahlin's the captain. He's the best player on the team by far. He is the only guy who has been even allowed this team to tread water over the past few years. Sure, you can talk about Tage Thompson, you can talk about, Cousins had that really good year, and you can go over some of the other names. JJ Peterka has been fantastic this season, but really the straw that stirs the drink, the guy who grinds the gears, the guy who gets the machine running, it's Rasmus Dahlin. And if that guy, out of everybody else, if it's that guy that wants out, then you're crap out of luck. What bigger message can be sent to the ownership of this team when not even the captain is willing to stick on board? So, rightfully so, there was a lot of panic from Sabres fans on this Rasmus Dahlin report, but it was quickly shut down because Dahlin then had himself an interview after practice, and they asked him about it. He said this: "I want to be moved? I don't know what Bissonnette's talking about. I've never said I want out of here. I'm not happy with where we're at. I don't want to lose, but we have to get better. I've never said I want out of here, and I thought that was pretty clear." Dahlin had seen the clip before speaking with reporters and wanted to share his side of the story. He said he did speak with Kevyn Adams, and they discussed what needs to change in Buffalo, but he never suggested he wanted out. Dahlin was visibly frustrated, and he said he was pissed off by the suggestion that he would leave. "I'm part of the problem," Dahlin said. "I haven't played good enough. We haven't won games, so I take responsibility too. But stuff has to change. That's the bottom line. That's how it is. I absolutely hate losing. I don't think that's part of who I want to be, so stuff has to change." Big sigh of relief, Buffalo. Of course, it's not a great sentiment to hear from your captain that, yeah, I'm part of the problem, like everything needs to get better. But obviously, it's a lot better than the contrary, saying that he is giving up on the team and that he wants out. He then also spoke out about how the team is crap, and he doesn't use the word crap, he uses the word that rhymes with it, and that's not wrong. The Sabres suck still, dude. So, even though there were a few hours earlier this morning where Paul Bissonnette said, oh yeah, this guy Dahlin could want out if things don't turn around, we had a very quick turnaround of him going out there and saying to the media, yeah, no, I didn't say that. Yeah, we talked. I talked with Kevyn Adams, talked about how this team is bad, now we're not winning, and now we need to win, but I didn't say I'm gonzo. So, there is the clarification for all y'all fine, lovely people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about the way the Buffalo Sabres season has gone so far. What are your thoughts on Rasmus Dahlin's perspective about it? And what are your opinions on the response here from Dahlin? Openly admitting that everything has been bad, openly admitting that he needs to be better, which honestly, he has been one of the best defensemen in the league, so I don't think it's really too fair for him to say that, but still, if your team's not winning games, you want the captain to be accountable and take accountability himself. That's what he's doing. What are your thoughts on the way things have gone so far with this Sabres team? And I say so far as if there isn't like 20 games left on the year, but thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.